the Bible by
It's not
God.
mine.
The one I've got by God in front of me. Okay, so so is the Holy Spirit the same as God?
Yes.
Okay,
In
well,
its
okay.
essence, not in its person.
So why does your book say that you are to test the Holy Spirit?
Quote me the verse.
But you've read it.
No, well, I have no recollection of that explicit.
Okay.
That you are to test the Spirit.
1 John 4:1.
Yeah.
Beloved, do not
John
believe every
4:1.
spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God. Test the spirit, which you said was the same as God, but according to that is from God. So if it's the same as God and from
right. Read the beginning of the sentence.
Well,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
not only does it say test, it's also got a contradiction in it. However, and the ones that say don't, the ones that say do, and ones that say don't. How is it you're able to establish whether you do or don't?
Yeah, so read the beginning of the sentence, or read the sentence from the start again.
I thought you had read the Bible.
This isn't a recollection test. As I said, it's not my
John,
Bible.
do you
I didn't write it.
Which version would you like?
Okay, you just want me to look at it.
I'll read it again.
John 1.
Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God. Now, if it is the spirit from God, you have to test that spirit, God's spirit. You have to test it to see if it's from God. Don't you?
Yeah, this is what this is speaking to is blind faith, right? You know, this would be a big division between, let's say, the Protestant perception and the Catholic. So in your rationalization, right, in the experience of, can you compare, right, yourself against the Spirit? Yes.
No. It says test the spirit.
Would be your interpretation.
It says test the spirit to see if the spirit is from God. So you have to test the spirit to find out if it is from God. And if it is from God, you've tested that spirit. How do you do that? How do you test the spirits that come to you? Or don't you test
with the truth code? Bit of a segue. You're probably not going to like that one, but in that you test against that which God has claimed. So people will go, if God appeared to you and told you to kill all the children in a primary school, would you do it? And you go, no, test the spirit.
I would if I was a theist and I believed God existed and God came to me and told me to do something. Yes, I would do it. Would you?
Right. But how would you know that that was God and not your own insane
I don't
impulses?
know. How do you know that?
Well, that's what this verse is speaking
you said
to.
test it against what you said. Test it against what God wants. So what does God want?
Exactly. So testing the Spirit against the Father would be that which would prove that this is God revealing Himself to you,
Rob, garbage,
and not your own.
Are you incapable of answering a question? You are incapable of answering.
No, I have answered the question.
No, you haven't.
No,
I'm talking and you're not
incapable of
satisfying.
Okay, one sec, both of you.
You are now just talking.
One
sec. I'll go back to you.
1 sec, both of you. Okay, Rob, he asked you a question. How do you test? And then he asked you, how do you know the difference? And you didn't answer either one of them.
No, I did. I exactly said it.
How do you test?
Well, the triune God, right? Father, Spirit, and Son, right? So he's saying, is the Spirit God? Yes. Right?
Okay, so
does it not say that you test the Spirit? Yes. This is three personhoods. If we're saying you should not test, yes.
Rob, we're asking you, how did you test the thing that speaks to you? How did you test it to know if it's real or not?
We went there. We went there with the juggle test, right? Something which you do, which is outside of yourself.
You're talking about how it perceives itself to you. We want to know, how do you test if it's legit or not? How do you say, are you real or not? Are you the
So when someone says something to you and it seems to be true, and then you go, that seems to be true,
the key word that you just used there was seems to be. Seems. So it had nothing to do with.
Because I am the subjective. I am not the absolute. What I see and perceive is not absolute truth, but can align itself to which is
the thing you're not getting, Rob, is if it was legit, it would tell you an absolute truth, right? It wouldn't be it seems to be true. It would be an absolute truth because you would be asking for some.
Well, no, it can't. Can it, Bad Star?
Okay.
Because I am not able to contain absolute truth. My truth, as revealed by God in this reality, will always seem from me to be subjective. But if that which I am saying, which at the base level would be a subjective, Rob is saying this, aligns to that which, if I take Rob out of it, that which is said is still true, then it is a truth objective outside of the subjective.
No, it's not.
Now, if I experience something which reveals to me that which is true beyond myself, I do accept that.
Stop it.
As an object.
Okay, stop Rob for a second.
Talking. You are just talking.
Okay, Alice, go.
So, hang on. So a truth that you said was in you, you could tell to Bad Star, or the truth still exists if you're gone. So yes, a rock is true. It's a rock. If you go, if your conscience goes because someone kills you, the rock is still a rock. Provided there's a consciousness to observe the rock and call it a rock, it's a rock. And even without any conscious at all, it can still be considered to be a rock, depending on your position in philosophy. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, that's okay. I mean, it wasn't the mission here.
Okay.
For my understanding of my truth to align absolutely with yours or satisfy.
You don't even. You can't tell me what your truth is. You just keep saying it's a truth. It's not, and then
we're giving examples of truth.
Just wait. You call it an absolute truth. Then you said to Bad Star you weren't sure if it was a truth because you said it seems like the truth when he pointed that out, and you said yes, it does seem like the truth. And then you say it's the absolute truth. So how can it seem like the truth, which means it might not be the truth? Or it could be some of the truth.
Yeah, well, my subjective isn't the absolute on the universal.
Because your subjective just said the opposite to what you say. You're in contradiction with yourself, internal contradiction in your worldview.
Well, this is what Bad Star was trying to focus on. He was frustrated before because we were going into the external, objective, science, logic, all this. But he's just wanting to go into, Rob, what is your personal truth? Just say it. So I'm saying it, and you're going, Rob, that makes no sense to me. Well, that's of course what we'd expect.
Okay, so maybe we both miss.
What does the word truth mean to you, Rob?
Sorry, can you
ask
that question again in a far more sensible and accessible way that could actually reveal something useful?
We'll cut and come back in, so we won't pretend that happened. Rob, how would you define truth?
That which is true.
That's a tautology, though.
Well, truth is a tautology.
Why?
Okay.
Because it is that which confirms itself.
Why is truth a tautology?
Well, the truth doesn't confirm that which is not of itself, is it?
I've no idea what you said.
Is of itself.
I don't know what you just said. The truth does not confirm that which is not of itself. That was nonsense.
Okay, what's your truth? What's your definition of truth?
Right, okay. Right. The facts are true.
Right, what are facts?
Well, you and I can stand outside when the water is falling from the sky, turn around to each other and say, it's raining, it's a fact, it's true.
Right. So, it is raining is a truth which confirms itself.
No, you and I confirm it standing in the falling water. The rain does not confirm itself.
But you said before, even if we weren't there, it still would be true.
No, I didn't. That was with regard to something completely different.
Well, it seemed like a universal, but okay.
Oh, well, things do seem very strange, Rob, if you allow them to be strange in your not clear thinking. I remember very clearly the questions that I ask and ask you them repeatedly, and you never answer them. Anyway. back to the podcast. I'll be quiet. Cut.
It's okay. You don't have to say cut. Okay.
All right, give me 40 seconds and I'll be back.
Anyway, when it comes to Rob giving us an actual answer, so we're gonna call that moot. We're gonna end that one. Okay, Rob. I still want to get back to the whole entire internal God thing and all that kind of stuff, right? Now, I know you're having a difficult time giving us an actual answer when it comes to this. So, I would like you.
Well, you could say that you're having a difficult time understanding that which I'm having at ease revealing, but that would be two different views.
If it was easy, then we would both understand it with ease.
Not true.
Do you think you can use do you think you could use words that would convey your understanding of what you apparently believe to be your God?
Well, yeah, and I have. That.
Okay. You just said you can. You just said you can. So I
did do that.
Okay. Wait 1 second.
But we see.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I would like you to use the words that you know to tell me how this God communicates with you. With ease, Rob. You said you can do it with ease. Go for it.
Yeah. So, in that, when I call to God to give me that which I am insufficient of, He does.
What are you insufficient of?
Everything.
Perfect. So your knowledge is insufficient and He's able to complete all that knowledge, right? This is what you just stated.
I ask.
Huh? Mm-hmm. This is what you just stated. Is that yes or no?
In that I ask Him.
Okay, Rob, I would like you to ask Him when I'm gonna die.
Mm-hmm. Ours is not to know the hour.
Pardon?
Ours is not to know the hour.
Okay. Rob, I would like you to ask Him when I'm gonna fall in love.
Yeah, He told me. Ours is not to know the hour.
Is that all He's gonna say? He's pleading the fifth at every moment. Is that what you're saying to me?
Well, in that, you can ask why.
No, I'm not asking why. I don't give a fuck about the why. I want to know, is He pleading the fifth to everything I'm gonna ask?
In the fifth, what do you mean exactly?
Like in the US, plead the fifth where you don't incriminate yourself. Is He pleading the fifth on everything? Is that what you're saying to me?
He's not. He's not pleading the fifth. No.
So He's not going to answer me? Is that what you're saying to me? He's not going to answer anything I ask?
Well, not anything that you ask, but you ask that, and that is the answer.
So that's the answer. So I can continue asking questions, and He's going to give me an answer at some point? Is that what you're saying?
It's very possible, isn't it?
Why do we age? Wait 1 second, LSF. Why do we age?
Oh, because everything that has a beginning must have an end.
Does God have an end? Shut your trap for 1 second. Does God have an end?
No, because He didn't have a beginning.
He never had a beginning, and He... Oh, interesting. When is the universe going to stop? It's going to cease.
Oh, when He decides.
When does He make decisions?
When He does.
So
when do you make decisions?
I make a decision by assessing information and all that kind of stuff, but okay.
And then decide to act on it when you do.
Right. Okay, so why didn't He present Himself to us now?
Because He already did.
When did He do it?
Always.
What? Did humanity exist always? Is that what you're saying to me?
Well, when did He reveal Himself to us? Always. Because
so
that is
always
contingent
is just
on us
when the
existing.
Creation of man was when He created man. He revealed Himself always from then.
Correct.
Okay, so then why is it He was not there at the beginning of human society? Why wasn't He there?
He was.
When was He there?
From the beginning.
Okay, tell me when the beginning was.
In zero. The beginning was at 0.
Okay, I will go to an extremes. We'll say the first humanoid that became self-aware of itself, was he there?
He was there before that, yeah.
Okay, he was there before that. That's a great answer to just fucking negate what I'm asking. Was he there to that in that thing that became self-aware of
Yes,
itself? He was. He was there.
he was there.
Okay. When
Yeah.
did he make himself known for that thing to actually love him?
At that very point of creation, yeah. I mean, he was there before, he was there in it, and he was there after it. In that he made us and made us aware of him.
Yours, okay, Rob, when you were a baby, did you know of God?
Yeah.
Did you know of God? You were an atheist until 3 years ago, you said, right? God didn't make himself known to you. So you're stating what?
Oh, see, this would be where you'd have to accept my personal experience of it.
Wait.
And not go.
Hang on, though. That would mean that you did know, but rejected it. So are you saying that you did know God was there
and rejected him? Is that what you're saying?
And reject. That's my experience myself.
Why did you reject him?
Wait, 1 second.
You knew he was there.
How did you know he was there, and how did you go about rejecting?
In that I was aware of that truth, right?
Okay, I would like you to use another word.
Even if it was
Rob, I need you to use another word than truth, because you're using the word as this all-encompassing understanding of whatever you're trying to convey to us, and so it's not working.
Before, I was aware of the claim, which would sufficiently explain things, but its implications were beyond my conception or my belief. That was true.
When did this occur? When did you become aware of all of this and then didn't have the understanding?
Very much like as a child. I mean, I was very much on the spectrum, probably still am. I'm the kid that got told off by his dad for explaining to his 3-year-old brother when he was 4 that Santa Claus could not exist. Right? So, in my ability to find a way to reject that, which I chose to because of the implications that were beyond my conceptualization, I did reject it.
I'm not too sure if I understood this, but you're saying via your conversation about Santa Claus not being real, you rejected God. Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah. Well, in the fact that I could absolutely claim that Santa Claus was not true, like at 4 years old, right? Because it was stupid. Right? And we can go into that. Like what we were presented with the idea of Santa Claus, right? And at that age, I just simply could not envelop enough to even conceive of a reality of God, of an absolute, right? I'm a child, I'm in the subjective. So something within that framework, something like Santa Claus can easily be understood, even to a 4-year-old, as simply not being true, right? If they've got a certain inclination, right? But that which is God can simply not be conceived, right? You can understand things. I can remember arguing with my dad, right? When I was still a child.
Okay, I gotta stop you. You're going off on a story thing. Okay, Rob, we're gonna change to another. Okay. We're gonna change again because it's a little difficult to comprehend exactly where you're coming from when it comes to these conversations, because you go off on these random things that no one else can technically be aware of.
I mean, I've already told you to my own satisfaction what it is, but then you go, "What does that mean?" And then so I'm trying, right, to help.
Alyssa, if you
I'm not resisting your inquiries, right?
Oh, okay. Okay, so here, how about this? Okay, I'm gonna ask this: are you fearful of death?
No.
Okay, very interesting. Okay, I would like you to describe an atheist death and a God death.
So for me, when I was an atheist, death was simply that which you could extrapolate as the end of consciousness, your material body disintegrating into the matter of which you're aware of, and that is it.
Okay, and what's a death by God with God?
Death by God is that which is conscious, right?
Okay,
Is
when you say
destroyed.
that which is conscious, are you talking about individuals? Are you talking? What are you talking about?
Yeah, your I am.
Okay, so now, okay, so continue. I didn't mean to cut you off. It's just I need to have some clarification.
Yeah, no, it's fine to stop at this point because it will be a very big chasm in which what makes you believe, accept that consciousness must exist beyond the body.
Well, I can address that if you'd like to.
Go for it.
Go on,
my pleasure. So, Rob, are you conscious?
I am.
You are conscious, yeah. I'm conscious as well. When you close your eyes, are you experiencing something?
Yeah.
Does it make sense? The experience?
It's sensible in that it's sensed, yeah.
Okay. That would mean that the universe is coherent and rational, at least to a point, because if it didn't make sense, it would be like some random DMT hallucination that just kept ever changing. So the coherent experience leads me to the point to say that yes, there is an I exist. That's my consciousness. So yeah, that's my only assumption. I exist. Now, I can tell you the other thing about that is because there is no epistemic possibility. This is not a thing. We've just agreed. The conscious experience is. That means that is simply an ontological proof. It exists and is true. So it's possible, true. That's why I use the word true. That's an ontological proof that you exist. Do you believe you exist?
In that, I know I exist. Yeah.
Okay. Now, does consciousness exist anywhere outside of a biological entity that you're aware of?
In myself, yes.
You are a biological entity. So that's a biological entity. I said anything other than a biological entity.
Yeah, my consciousness can transcend outside my existence.
How?
It can transcend into the future, into the past, into others' existence, in fact, into existence itself, which does not concord with that which is actually happening physically.
So in the same way, Rob, in the simple and same way that I just explained to you my reasoning for thinking that I exist, you can now use the same reasoning to explain how the consciousness exists wherever you think it does.
Well, this would just be your assumption that my consciousness, in that I know it does exist because I am, must mean that it is absolutely linked with this physical existence, absolutely. That doesn't actually work out. We can take that we'll make that a claim, right? And we'll go into it. But we do find that actually it's not that easy to correlate my consciousness, my perception, right, my experience of this reality absolutely in concordance with this reality as it is on this subject, me.
Right, Rob,
consistently.
Rob, excuse me. This is what you do. You're now talking absolute garbage. I didn't understand a word of what you said. I'll let Bad Star go back on to the whatever is next.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Oof. Damn, Rob. You're a mouthful.
Well, so are you guys, but I don't get angry. So there's a test of the spirit.
I'm not getting angry.
Yeah,
and the funny thing is, you said I got frustrated before, and I was like, no. Really off.
Oh, is it not? Well, that was my misconception. There we are.
Okay. So, Rob, do you have an understanding of time?
I have an experience of time, yeah. My understanding is non-correlated to the truth of time.
Okay, so via your internal whatever, how is that thing going to explain to you what it means to not have a beginning or end and for time to be meaningless to it?
Oh, time certainly isn't meaningless.
To who?
Well, without time, there's no space. Without time, space, there is no universe. This is this reality.
Rob, this is not what I'm asking.
Which we're constrained in. Well, but this is the reality. I mean, your understanding of time is an abstract concept.
You're going off of a brief understanding of what I asked. I asked you, how does this thing correlate its understanding of time when it means it has no time, no beginning, no end, and all that kind of stuff? If it's completely outside
LSF might enjoy this one. So we're talking about trying to empathize with a fifth dimensional state, right? That which can conceive all of time within that which is constrained through time, right? Totally. Right? So a fifth dimensional being would look at you and see your beginning and end in completeness throughout.
Robert, why do you say fifth dimensional?
I was going to say there's something way more easier to go with. A one-dimensional creature or entity would encompass everything you just said. I don't know why you went to a fifth dimension, because I believe fifth dimension is temporal coordinates, right?
Well, because Robert goes for 5 because he understands the 3 vectors of
time
and time, space time. And Rob, you also said that there was no time without space or no space without time. How do you know that?
Physics.
If you reduce a math to a mathematical singularity with a functional infinity, time tends to go to infinity before space. This is a problem. But you know that it's not like that, apparently.
Well, in that space is constrained within time, like you say, time can go into infinity and space will be constrained within that absolute that can go through time. So we could have Planck length of space, which is absolute within space, but isn't absolute within time, because the space can be a different configuration through each Planck length of time, but can constitute the total of space.
You're talking about
the paradigm of the reality
Planck
of time-space.
Not a Planck length, because Planck length is
okay.
And all of that was garbage. Now, I found Einstein very, very difficult to learn and understand. And what you said is way out there. So, Mr. Einstein, write it all down.
Okay, so yeah, I would suggest. Okay, so the problem is it doesn't answer my question. I'm asking you, how does this thing convey its infinity to you?
Right.
How does it do that?
Right, so we're going into the subjective in space and time, accepting the delimiter of the subjective, right, against the objective, which is trans-space and time. In that, it created that which I am contained within.
That, okay. Okay, you're not answering me how it conveys this to you. You're trying to explain a concept, and it's not working. I'm saying, how did it convey this to you? And you're just explaining concepts that you understand. And you're wrapping them together.
Anything that stands outside of time and space could reveal itself to me within the subject constrained within time and space, which in and of itself as an experience cannot be a universal, because I as a subjective am traveling through time and space and therefore have variation. Right? So what you would want is that God would reveal himself and then there would be no variation. But that isn't the case, obviously. Because I am the subjective in time and space, right? Which must allow progress, must allow change. Otherwise, there would be no time and space, quantum physics, etc.
Okay. Okay.
Is that necessarily that way around?
Okay. Clarify then.
Well, you said you must change for there to be time.
Well, I have changed in time, haven't I? The glass that I look at is not
I
the same
agree
glass
that
that
you
it
have.
was a second ago. Okay.
Yes, but you said something completely different from that. Was that you are required for time to change, which I don't think that's the case.
No, I change by absolute nature of myself in that I am in the space-time framework, right? If I am just as much materially the glass, then I can accept that even against my will, against whatever, I am not that which I was at the subatomic quantum level, right?